YouTube fans, so today I wanted to talk about exactly how to lose belly fat and why most people will never ever lose their belly fat. Now, for context, I'm going to show a picture of me losing belly fat. I was 36-inch waist, got down to 29 and been maintaining between 29 and 30. Now I'm going to show some client results as well. So the main thing when it comes to losing belly fat that people do not realize is that it's really all mindset. Body game, losing fat, all of that is all mindset. People think it's just, oh, let me do a few push-ups, let me do a few fads, let me do keto, let me do extra cardio. No, it's a mindset because you got to show in and day out. You have to become the person that can show up consistently. You have to become that person. That's the main thing. For example, with my clients, what generally happens at the beginning of the journey versus the end of their journey when they've lost their belly fat is they change the way that they view not only nutrition but the way they view themselves, right? They hold themselves to a higher standard and they have a different perspective when it comes to nutrition. They don't look at food as, you know, okay, I can eat whatever I want to, but let me just do keto for a little while so I can lose all my belly fat. No, because in reality, most people who, when they look down, they can't see their dick. Most people that have a 45-inch waist, how they gain that waist? Years and years of consistency eating like absolute shit. Let's keep it a buck. People are always like, oh, is this genetic? No, you're a fat fuck. You've been eating like shit for a long period of time. All right, it's just that simple. You've been eating like shit for a long period of time. Been eating crumble cookie, been eating pizza for a long period of time. All right, no one put that fat on you. Every inch of belly fat was earned. Simple. All right, every inch of belly fat was earned. None of it was given. You don't just get given belly fat. All right, so it took you years and years to gain it. So you have to realize, even though it took you 10 years to gain 10 inches of fat, you could lose that same 10 inches in 6 months, which is really, really good. But people won't even give it 6 months. People won't even give it 6 days. If people don't see results immediately, they're like, oh, this is not working. This is hard. It's not fair. I have bad genetics. No, you don't. You just don't have consistency. You don't have the mindset. So the mindset is the most important part when it comes to it. Because like I said, you have to become the person who's not going to eat the cookie, who's going to eat the fruits, who's going to eat the steak, who's going to eat the eggs, right? You have to show up day in and day out. You have to have that integrity. When the motivation leaves you, you're still going to do what you need to do. That's what it takes, all right? Because losing belly fat is a simple science equation, all right? Simple science equation. You eat in a high protein calorie deficit while strength training, and you do that consistently, and guess what's going to happen? Your fat is going to keep reducing. The problem is people want it to happen really fast. People are like, you know what? You know, I'm going to take it seriously. I'm going to do water fast. I'm going to do keto. I'm going to do carnivore. I'm going to do that for 2 weeks, and I better lose all my fat. No, you're not changing fucking science, right? Just because you decided to be serious and do literally the bare minimum doesn't mean that science is going to speed up for you because it's like, oh my God, you're finally doing what you need to do. No, it's the bare fucking minimum, all right? Do that consistently and you'll lose fat. Because in reality, like I said, if you're a 40-inch waist and your goal is 30-inch waist, that's 10 inches, right? You're not going to lose 10 inches in 1 week and 1 month. It's just not happening, all right? Even if the weight goes down faster, you're not losing 10 inches in 1 month. What's going to happen is you're going to lose on average probably about 0.25 a quarter to, you know, a third inch per week on average. And you might lose 3 inches the first week, but on average over time in the 6-month period, you'll lose about a quarter inch realistically, all right? Even in my transformation that I showed you guys, right, it's literally 1.3 inches lost per month. That's like a quarter inch to 0.3 inches lost per week. All right. But at the end of it, people are like, oh, you're on steroids. No, I'm just consistent. And the consistency compounds. All right. You have to be consistent. You have to look at the long-term vision. You have to pace yourself. Stop fucking thinking that it's like some magical shit. All right. You guys always think that you're just going to do keto once and you're just going to lose all your fat. If it was that easy, no one would be overweight. But everybody's obese and everybody's overweight. Why? Because they don't understand the mindset needed. All right. And I remember I made this video once and someone was like, oh, as soon as you said mindset, I was like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And guess what? Go to their profile. They're out of shape because they're not willing to change their mindset, right? You have to change your perspective on nutrition. Let me tell you one thing. This is how lean people look at exercise. Lean people look at exercise as stress relief, right? As a way to progress, as a way to become mentally stronger, as a way to become physically stronger as well. All right. They don't look at it as a way to just burn off calories. Out of shape people look at it as a way to burn off calories, right? Nutrition, right? In shape people, lean people, they look at it as preventative measures for type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, sleep apnea, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and a way to give them better energy, better recovery, you know, better health, better mental clarity. That's what they look at it as. Out of shape people look at nutrition as a hobby, as something they do with their bored, right? As something they want to try. They want to try different foods and they want to have fun. They're a foodie, all that goofy shit. That's how out of shape people look at food. All right. So they look at food as things they do, like something they do to enjoy 24/7, like as a hobby, right? Which is why their back is so big and their stomach's so huge, right? And then they look at exercise as a way of burning it off, right? And that's the wrong mindset to have because exercise is not burning off. One piece of pizza is like 400 calories. You're not burning off 400 calories with the hour on the Stairmaster. Even if it says you burn 400 calories, it's just not happening. And if you have that mindset, you're never going to be able to sustain it. All right. So looking at fitness as a trend looking at it as something you do temporarily, that's why you're not losing the belly fat. Because losing belly fat means you have to reduce your body fat percentage. If you're 40% body fat, 30% body fat, you're gonna have to get down to 15 to 10 before you lose your love handles and all of your belly fat. That takes time. All right. Just because you lost 30 pounds in 2 months doesn't mean you've reduced that much body fat. You probably lost a lot of muscle in the process. So you got to focus on fat loss and realize fat loss is slower than weight loss, but fat loss is what you want. That's going to get you to the goal that you want to get to. All right. So all that dumb shit of trying to speed run fat loss when you haven't done anything for the past 10 years. Now, since you put 2 months in, you want to outdo or undo everything you did for the past 10 years. It doesn't make any sense. All right. You gained 100 pounds in 10 years. You're trying to lose the whole 100 in 2 months. Give it time. The time is going to pass regardless. Why not be at your goals? All right. You have to shift your mindset on it. Like I said, my clients in the beginning, they're always like, oh my gosh, I can't lose fat. Like, I only lost 2 inches in the first month. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fast paced. You have 6 inches left. Pause. So now, you know, if you keep it up at that pace after 4 months, you're going to be at your goal. And they're like, that kind of makes sense. And then 4 months later, they're at their goal and they're setting new goals. And they realize that it's all about your inputs. It's all about the person you become. It's all about your habits that you're doing on a daily basis. That's what's going to get you to your goal. Right? That's what's going to get you to your goal. Not trying to find a perfect macro ratio or the perfect diet. Goofy shit like that. I hate when people say dumb shit like that. What's the perfect diet? Stay in a calorie deficit. Very simple. And eat high protein. As long as you're hitting your protein numbers, you're eating whole foods, you're staying in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose the fat. No specific nutrition is going to make you lose fat faster. You might lose weight faster if you do keto or carnivore, but you're just losing some muscle glycogen and potentially muscle if you go way too low in calories. All right. You have to pace yourself because it's not about who loses the fastest. It's about who can sustain the longest. And that's what people don't realize. All right. I say the marathon is not a race. People are like, wait, what that mean? I know I heard that before. No, you don't. You don't know what the fuck that means because you clearly don't follow it. All right, you're always trying to race to the finish line. You're like, all right, in 2 weeks, I'm going to get to my goals. It's like, no, it's just not going to happen. It takes time. All right. So remember, it's a marathon, not a race. Here's the thing. January 1st is coming up. We all know this shit. People are going to hit me up and be like, hey, man, I see it took you that long to get your results. I'm going to get those results you got in 3 weeks. And I'm just going to block them because I don't have time for the bullshit. All right. It is what it is. They do that shit every year. And guess what happens? They try to speed run fat loss. And they're 40% body fat. They want to get to 10% in 3 weeks. It's just mathematically impossible. You're not changing fucking science. All right. It's mathematically impossible. So after 3 weeks, when they lost 6% body fat because they changed their entire life, which is actually really good for 3 weeks, they're like, dang, man, I didn't get to my goals, man. So they quit and go back to their old habits because they set unrealistic expectations. All right. It takes time to get to your goals, but you also have to become the person. That's why you can't skip the process. That's why when people get liposuction, they gain it all back because they never became the person that, you know, has the habits that can lose the fat and keep it off, right? So they have the same habits. They're eating fried chicken, they're drinking liquor, they're going out every weekend, and they're like, oh my God, I have extra belly fat, let me get liposuction. They get liposuction, guess what they do when they're done? The same shit, and they gain it back. So they constantly have to keep going back and getting liposuction because they want everything to change but themselves. You got to change yourself if you want to reach your goals, period.